to today's episode of The Daily Blend. I'm your host, AC, and we are joined today by Colin Graham. He is the Mizzou Esports coordinator. How are you, Colin?
I'm doing all right. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. So you got a lot to teach me in a short time about esports.
Yeah, it's going to be a pretty broad topic, so I'll try to keep things very succinct and pointed.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So, I mean, tell me what esports is doing in the college realm.
So it's been around for about 10 years now. Started
Okay.
at Robert Morris University in Chicago, but offering scholarships to students that compete at a very high level. Mizzou is one of those programs. So we offer scholarships to students that we recruit, we assess their talent, and then we usually bring them in, and they all live on campus. They either live in one of our residence halls or they receive some sort of a cash scholarship.
Wow. So, you know where I'm going. So for all that time when you're young and you're playing video games and your mom is like, or your parents are like, that's not gonna lead to anything. That's not true anymore, is it?
I was in the same boat.
Okay.
Kid playing video games, parents like, you're not going to go anywhere. And it's like, it's one of those look at me now moments.
Yes.
But I've had plenty of conversations with parents where it is a work-life balance. So the kid needs to come off the game every once in a while.
Sure.
Like, don't overload it. But yeah, there's definitely a lot of opportunities. There's about 200 plus institutions in the U.S. that offer scholarships for esports.
Wow.
Yep.
So tell me about the actual game. When you say esports, that sounds really broad to me.
Yeah.
Like, what are people playing?
So here at Mizzou, we have 5 titles that we compete in. So think of each title as its own sport.
Okay.
So we have League of Legends, Overwatch, Rocket League, Smash Brothers Ultimate, which is our only game that's on console, and then Valorant, which is one of our most successful titles that we've had. And each of them have their unique skill sets that each student has. So it's not like I can play one and then play all of them. Typically, you focus in on one. So think about like this. In high school, you have multi-sport athletes. So somebody may play football, basketball, and baseball.
Yes.
And then they kind of specialize as they get towards the end of their high school career. Think of this as finding your specialty. You may play a lot of different esports titles, but then you kind of find your lane and you stick with that.
Okay. So that makes more sense to me
Yeah.
then. That was a good way to explain it. So like, I'm athletic. I play baseball. I play, I'm Deion Sanders, whatever. I play baseball and I play, football, whatever. But you're saying eventually you find your lane.
Yep.
The one that you're probably the most skilled at, and that's the one you kind of stick with.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Esports. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to tell my daughter who is online all the time, maybe stick with it.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things where if you find something that you're really good at, why not stick with it? My mantra has always been, as someone running an esports program, is using esports as a platform to offer opportunities to students who wouldn't have them through traditional sports. So you do something you do something at a high level, you're very talented at it, but maybe you can't run fast, jump high, and lift heavy.
Yeah.
You should still have those opportunities provided to you through some sort of athletic medium.
That is a great way to think about that. And I've never thought about it before. I've seen the words. I've seen esports.
Yeah.
There are some other colleges here, I think, who maybe dabble in it. And I've seen it, but I have never truly understood exactly what it entails.
Yeah. It's all the soft skills that you would learn through traditional sports, you learn them through esports as well. Like I said, there's just not that physical component. So you have to be able to be accountable. You have to be able to communicate. You need to have critical thinking skills. So it is a sport, at least through my definition.
Sure.
It looks a little different.
Yeah. Are you recruiting?
Yes. We have 2 spots left for the fall. We try to do most of our recruitment from August through January, but some things happen, some things open up. So we're always kind of looking for maybe a spot here or there. We have 1 spot left open on our Overwatch team that we're currently looking to fill.
How do you recruit in esports? Like, in sports, somebody's making film or people are posting their film on YouTube. But I imagine maybe you could do sort of the same thing.
It's a lot of the same things. So we have different facets. One of them is recruitment services. So if you think for even traditional sports, you have things like 24/7 Sports, On3, things like that you have like rankings for players.
Okay.
So we use a recruiting service, word of mouth, students posting on Twitter or social media, hey, I'm looking for a team for collegiate. And then some of our students just play at a high enough level that they play with their friends online and like, hey, you're really good. Do you want to come to college and get an education and play for us? And we've had that happen at least I think this institution and my previous one.
I can see that. I can see where you're playing with people.
Yeah.
And you're like, and you're on the team and you're like, this person's really good.
Yeah.
Take a look.
Yeah.
Huh. I'm it's intriguing.
Yeah.
It's intriguing. What is what is Mizzou most well known for? Like, which game is Mizzou most well known for in esports? Do you have one?
I would say right now it's our Valorant team.
Okay.
So last year we hit a new peak. We were at about number 5 in the nation in collegiate.
Okay.
This year it's going to be that will be one of the highlights that we have. But we have a Game Changers team coming in this year. Game Changers team is an all women's Valorant roster. They're very talented. I'm very excited to bring them on board. They've been elevated from our club program up to our premier program, as well as some new students coming in. But we think that we're probably going to take the collegiate scene by storm, especially in Game Changers with that roster, and I'm excited to see how they do.
Really?
Yeah.
So is it generally co-ed? Is it generally out?
So it generally is co-ed.
Okay.
But esports is a very male-dominated space.
Imagine so.
And so there have been more opportunities open up to women in gaming over the past few years, one of them being Game Changers for Valorant, and Impact for CS2 or Counter-Strike 2, and then Calling All Heroes for Overwatch is a female and basically female transgender non-binary league that has been available to them. Wow. So there's more opportunities opening up, and we thought Game Changers would be a really good one for us to lean into going into this year.
Yeah, and I imagine you'll continue to see that grow.
Oh,
correct?
I hope so.
Yeah, because that kind of serves as a model, right? When you bring in like an all-female team like that, yeah, make sure you guys market them really well.
Oh, we absolutely plan on it. And I already had a conversation with our captain the other day. I was like, just so you know, this is kind of where we're looking at this. I don't want to make you guys feel uncomfortable, but this is kind of the plan. She's like, oh, that's fine with me, and that's fine with the rest of the team. We're happy to do it. It's like, fantastic.
I love that. Okay, before we get out of here, how far do you have people coming on scholarship for esports?
We've had one student come from Florida, and then we've had a couple come from California. So pretty much each end of the United States.
Wow. That is amazing. It really is amazing.
Yeah.
Well, Colin, I really appreciate you giving me a little bit of background on the esports program here at MU. I never knew half of the things you just said. So I'm sure our listeners are appreciative as well.
Yeah.
And maybe there's somebody listening who's like, hey, I want to check that program out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, Colin. This was very informative. I appreciate you.
Thank you.